work. Look for the reasons it's not going to work, and then figure out how to get through that.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million in tech? And today we're connecting from London, United Kingdom, to the French part of Canada, right?
Quebec City.
Sean, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Sean Languedoc. I'm CEO of a company called Upforce.ai. I've had 4 tech companies before. This is my 5th. So I'm happy to share all the failings that I've been through.
This is your 5th tech company? So
this is my 5th company.
Oh my God! So tell us a little bit more. So why did you start to be in the tech space? Are you a programmer? How you end up in the tech industry?
I was kind of asked backwards, actually. It was so I was doing global sponsorships, and I saw the transformation of the advertising and of the other industries, which were big dollar spends, where there was somebody who owned the information would get a large percentage of a transaction just because they had the information. And the internet made that information accessible to the end users. So most of your audience probably won't know this, but you used to use a travel agent to go travel somewhere because they knew how to book the hotels and the airlines.
Yeah.
Now you use Expedia or whatever, right? Same thing in the stock trades. It used to be the broker that would get 15% of the trade because they knew in live real time what was trading at what price, and they could transact for you. Enter E-Trade and Charles Schwab and all these other electronic formats, boom. So I was seeing that as the industry change that I wanted to make in the ad space and allow the advertisers to go around the agencies that were buying their media and buy it directly. And which brings me to the very first lesson in how not to make $1 million and what to avoid. The first was to take action. I started a company, but the most important thing was to listen. And so I went around, I knew a lot of global marketers, and I said, here's my idea. This model works in other industries. This industry is ripe for disruption. And they all said, yeah, great idea. Go for it.
I actually like it.
They loved it.
I think it's a good idea. What happened with the idea?
It's a great idea.
I love it.
You have to realize the environment you're going into might not be welcoming of that kind of a change.
Because it's way too early.
Way too early. This is like the 1990s. So.
Oh my God.
And so one person thankfully said, dumbest idea I've ever heard. Now, what are you talking about? Everybody else says it's a great idea. Instead of thinking he was an idiot, I said, what are you telling me that no one else is telling me? He said, look at me. I'm the head of a multi-billion-dollar company. I have a huge budget. I use an agency to do the creative and another agency to do the media buying. If you're telling me to get rid of my media buying agency and hire a couple people to do it all for me because you're going to give all the information online. Yeah, that's it. You'll save millions. Okay, so what happens if a campaign fails? Who gets fired, right? When I have an agency, I can fire the agency. When it's me, they fire the coach. And I've built a career here. I don't want to lose that. So you got to figure out what the reason is it's not going to work. Look for the reasons it's not going to work. And then figure out how to get through that. Anyway, long story short is I changed the business model from being disruptive to inclusive. And our campaign was, basically I built a Rosetta Stone that translated data formats between the large systems that each party was using, the buyers and the sellers. And then it reduced all the data entry and all the mistakes that come with data entry. This is like back in the 1990s and 2000s.
Wow.
So it's like, that's just history. But the point is, we said, instead of saying we're going to take away your job, we said we're going to bring back the 3 martini lunch.
We're gonna make it easier, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to have time to talk.
That's more inclusive, right, than disruption, and that's more inclusive. We're gonna help you to make your job easy, right?
Exactly.
But then, so then what happened? I think you went up to something because it was disruption in all the industries, and you said, well, there is a space. here, and the advertising is, it's a giant industry.
Yeah.
But if an evolution can be done there, we're talking about a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
It was somebody else back in the day with the crazy idea, same like you, or you were the only crazy around?
Well, being in Canada, it's a nice place to start a company because it's a small market with big problems, just like the United States. And so I was fortunate enough to get the SDKs, the software development kits for these big enterprise systems, and that enabled me to solve the problem. And so these American companies looked at me like, okay, Canada's a pimple on the elephant. It's always complaining about our systems. This might be a good add-on solution. We'll let Sean go and run with it. And I ran with it and it worked.
Wow.
But my investors obviously said, hey, Canada's a small market. Let's head south as soon as possible, right? So I went south, and in New York, it's a different world, man. I mean, they are
This
big
is
players,
a
and
Wild
there's
West over there, yeah?
billions at stake and well-established reputations and linkages that, the small time Canadian, I
You
was
have
like,
credibility. They don't even look at you. They don't even let you walk into a reception of the building if
well,
you're
they
a
let you
nobody.
in,
Yeah.
they hear you out, and then they just go, that's a good idea, but you're not doing it here. This is our country. This is our place. Like, that's a good idea. You made it work. Hands off to you, but you want to do this in the States? No, we're going to do that. Like,
Yeah.
there's too much money involved. So I
Wow.
realized, and they said, if you come in here and try this, well, I won't tell you who it was, but we're going to take away the updates, so you'll be screwed in Canada.
Wow, really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's how aggressive is the. So there were people already thinking that it was. But Sean, a big opportunity. Sean, but did you wrote? Are you a software developer?
No, I'm a business guy.
So do you think that was a
I
good
find a
idea?
problem.
Do you think that was a good idea? You building tech companies without knowing how to write a line of code?
It's a terrible idea. I mean, you learn so much by doing, right? And so you don't know how to build a team. So I hired what most entrepreneurs who are on the business side do is they hire somebody they know who knows something about software, right? And you give them a whole whack of the company. The problem with that is when you grow up and the company actually becomes successful, that person who you knew who could hack stuff together, he was the gamer in your, who could build anything you wanted in over a weekend, and there you got your prototype. The problem with that is that person is not the person who's going to lead the engineering team of 50.
Absolutely.
Who's going to make it a scalable product and enterprise it, So that's a mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make. And one of the reasons it's sometimes, now that with AI being able to build a lot of stuff and so many experts in so many businesses, especially contracting companies, who can build your proof of concept without you having to give up equity. You do have to put a little cash in, but if you think about it, if you give 15 or 20% of the company, or even 50% to your engineering partner, that could be worth $50 million, right?
And also,
Which is spending maybe $100,000 to get things started.
Let's face it, John, regardless that you are running a tech company, right? And this is the issue that we find in the tech space over and over and over again, right? Is that this, at the end of the day, is a business, right? And
that's right.
The nature of the business, this is how it works. We need someone like you that know how to identify a market, how to identify a problem, how to know what people are willing to pay for, because this is what you did, right? You actually have an idea, I'm gonna disrupt this. Somebody told you this is a bad idea. You have to refine this because it's not gonna work. And in your head, you say, okay, if I refine this, these people will be able to pay for it. And all I have to do is develop that. So you knew that already was a market ready to pay for that. You already knew the size of that market. You already have all this information. And then you have the wise idea to say, okay, I'm going to hire a tech team, right, that will develop the product to serve that market. What we find all over and over in the tech space, 90%, 80%, 90% of the companies that we find is the other way around. We have all these genius software developers creating this AI software tool patented that they're gonna change the world. How brilliant is the technology? And then after they put all the money and the resources all the time in that amazing product, now they find out that nobody's buying it.
Square peg in a round
The
hole.
product is no market fit, and now you have to take the product and polish it a lot so the client is ready to buy that product. And then you're wasting a lot of energy, resources, time, and everything, and now you have to do double work, triple work, because actually what you did is not the. So I think that I prefer 10 companies run people like you, right? Because at least you know that when the thing works, you can sell it. Because the other way around is painful. Sean, have you seen something the other way around? Because I see here in London every single
all the time. Yeah. Great engineers.
It's even worse. They develop this product that is gonna be amazing, that they're gonna solve the problem. That is amazing software that is gonna, and then you know what, Sean, I need your money for marketing so I can sell it. Yeah.
So I mean, the most famous accelerator, Y Combinator, the first thing they do is say, talk to 100 customers. And will they, great. This is, and define whether it's medicine or vitamin, right? Is it something I need, or is it something I might like?
I like the analogy between medicine and vitamin. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, wow. Because you've got so many apps on your phone that you thought were kind of cool, but you don't need them. And how many times do you go back to them? 0.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. That's vitamin, right? Whereas, hey, my calendar, Slack, email,
WhatsApp. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you just be honest with yourself. Is it a vitamin or is it medicine? And if it's a vitamin, vitamins do sell, right? How many people really want it? And what's my go-to-market cost, and how hard is it to get there? That's really critical. Yeah.
So Sean, okay, so after you,
that was my first company. That's like, as I say, I had 4 companies before this.
I like to say I'm heading to that now, right? So okay, now
but my line, Harry, is I've had 4 companies before this. This is my 5th. They all went south. Now I'm from Canada. So going south can mean 2 things. 2 of them went to the States.
Yeah. So so Sean, after back in the day that you have this first experience in tech, which is very lucrative. Don't get me wrong. And back of the day, very, very lucrative. Yeah, very risky. So then you thought that was a good idea to open and to have another tech venture? Do you think that was a great idea? Do you know how many tech companies fail versus to succeed? Do you think that was a good idea to open another tech company?
Well, the second one was more of a, excuse me. The next 2 were more, I took on the leadership role of companies that existed. I was a turnaround guy because they had they needed some go-to-market expertise, and one of my board members
that's your strength, right?
Absolutely. I'm a sales CEO who figures out problems and then tries to use technology to enable the solution, as opposed to a technology founder who's trying to find a problem. Right.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.